Morning, grade 11s. It's me. I'm back again with lesson number 7 on shorter transactional writing. But before we start, please take out your books. Let's mark your advertisement homework. Right, your first question was based on this advert, where you had to identify all the qualities and the techniques of an advert in this following ad. Right, the ones that we can pick up is the fear of the mothers of not having time to prepare a nutritious meal. The personal pronouns we, you, your, bullet or key points that you can see there, as well as the heading, the bold font, the colors that are vibrant, the red and the green, which is symbolical of energy, being healthy, and it's a vibrant young color with a young child. It's a catchy heading, superfoods for super kids. Every child and every mother would want their kid to be a super kid. And it is addressing the target audience of mothers wanting their kids to be fit and healthy children. It also makes claims of success, basically telling us how good this superfood is and what it consists of. Then the brand name is Fries. Okay. The slogan for this specific ad, Superfoods for Super Kids. The logo is this one with a little seedling growing there inside. Then we also pick up on the use of alliteration of the S and the F, Superfoods for Super Kids, and the assonance of the U. Right. The second one that you had to finish was this one on the Wimpy ad. Now, I'm very sorry if you couldn't make out what is going on there. There we've got the Facebook and the Twitter symbols, our menu, Wimpy moments, our family, franchising, kids, and contact us. Right, the first question was, name the fast food franchise that is advertised. It is Wimpy, okay? Then write down the slogan in this advert. For this specific advert is own your day with a Frankster breakfast, okay? Wimpy's slogan is enjoy every moment. Right, but they ask you for the advertisement. Then number 3, on which 2 social media networks are you more likely to find out more about the product being advertised? You have to look very carefully at your advert. There they indicate the symbols of Facebook and Twitter, those 2 social networks. Then number 4, on which icon will you click to find out more about their meals on offer? The top one that says our menu. 2.5, which word in the advertisement means to take charge or possession of something? The word own, okay? And they ask you which word, meaning that it needs to be only a one-word answer. Then 2.6, list 2 things that you would probably find if you click on the button contact us. Now any 2 of these, the most probable ones would definitely be the telephone number and the email address, okay? Then also, when we have a look at the next question, what does the Frankster refer to in this advert? It refers to the Frankfurter Society, which is being portrayed there. Then you also had to answer in your Via Africa, page 114 and 115, those questions. Here is your book. You will note that you have the picture there of the buffalo being portrayed as a doctor. On the 100 Rand note, we also find the buffalo, the lady in the wheelchair with her leg in a cast, Making your money take care of you has never been so easy. Written in a very childlike manner, as if you're not basically able to write properly, like an adult, okay? Child-friendly, playful manner. Then let's have a look at your questions. Oopsie, sorry. The first one says, who is the target group for this advert? Okay, it would most definitely be people who are breadwinners or are working class people, parents, spouses who want to provide for their families or for an income, should they suffer from an injury at work and they cannot work for a time. Number 2, describe the font that has been used in the phrase, making your money take care for you has never been so easy. Why do you think the advertisers used this font? Basically, it's childlike. You might be dependent on people again, like a child. That might have been the reason why they chose that specific font. Number 3, how do you know that the young woman in the picture cannot walk? 2 things. When you look at the picture, she is being pushed in a wheelchair and her leg is in a cast. Then 3.4, what emotion does the visual image of the young woman in the wheelchair evoke in you? Why does the advertiser want to appeal to this emotion? You get a feeling of sympathy, desperation, anxiety, fear, because he uses this so that he appeals to you. What would you do if that happened to you? Okay. 3.5. Why does the doctor standing behind the wheelchair have a buffalo's head? Because the buffalo's head features on the 100 Rand note. The idea of your investment or money which will take care of you, like the doctor pushing her wheelchair, takes care of her. They play there on the personification there, giving this doctor the 100 Rand note head, also a bit of a metaphor that we have there. Number 6, would you like to buy this product and why? Yes, because it is flexible in its payment structure. It provides for you when you cannot, and it is easy to understand what the policy entails. Number 7, the text about the money looking after you uses personification and a simile. Explain. It gives the money a human caring nature and the doctor looking after you when you need it. Okay. 3.8. Couldn't actually figure out what the question was there. They say both alliteration and assonance are used for emphasis in the words flexible and financial. So I purely just indicated the alliteration and the assonance. Okay. Remember, they are sound devices, so it's about what you hear. Okay. Flexible, alliteration, and so forth. 3.9, find 2 examples of adjectives or phrases that have been used to woo the reader to buy this product. We have a few here. Take care of you, look after you, simple, flexible, financial choice, flexibility to lower your premiums. Those are all possible things that would entice you as the reader to most probably want to investigate this policy further. Right, let's move on to your shorter transactional. This is lesson number 7. I'm just going to put it sideways so you can see basically the date and the lesson. And then I'm going to explain 3 shorter transactional pieces to you. These should be old hat because you have been doing them for some time. But I would also like for you to copy these notes in your book. What do we know about the diary? The diary is very private. No one reads somebody else's diary. It helps you to make sense of your experiences throughout the day when you go and pin it down in your diary. It is very personal and therefore you use informal language. It is about the events that have taken place and you record them in the past tense because they have happened already. When you write down a string of thoughts that you might be thinking about doing or whatever, you might use the present tense, okay? Also, the future could be employed depending what you are writing about. A diary entry is always dated. You have to write the date at the top, like 2 May 2020. Here I've given you an example of a diary. You will write the date and then Dear Diary immediately after that because they will not overlap. You will leave a line open and then you will start pinning down your thoughts. Okay. You may use the following words to indicate a flow of events or thought. At first I thought this, when this happened, then I went there, later so and so happened. Next, I hope to do this. And finally, I will let you know tomorrow what happened. So these are some words which you can employ when writing your diary. It just makes sense of how you logically put all the things or events in order that happened. These words will make your paragraph therefore more understandable. A diary is also written in the first person I, because remember we said it is private and personal. It is your diary, so therefore you will be I. Okay. A diary explores feelings and emotions. When you are writing about a sad event, I would like to see which feelings and emotions come into play when you do your diary inscription. So please always keep in mind it is private and personal. It's the only one friend you have where you can share your innermost feelings and emotions. Okay. You use adverbs and adjectives to express and explain these emotions. You may also use punctuation marks. Just don't overdo using those punctuation marks. Okay. Short paragraphs. You can have more than one paragraph, but make use of simple sentences, not very complex sentences. It's just your thoughts and feelings of the day. You are tired and you are penning those down. The power of a diary always lies in its sincerity. Be sincere about your feelings and emotions. If you are asked to write about 2 random days, it could be any day. They do not need to follow one after the other like the 10th and the 11th of May. Okay. If they do in fact ask you to write 2 consecutive days inscriptions directly after each other, it might be where you are planning to go on vacation and then the day when you leave the next day. They will be directly after each other. It is told from a personal point of view, and therefore you will use the pronouns I, me, my, mine. And you do not ever write your name at the bottom of your diary inscription like you would do in a letter. Usually in a letter, if this is my diary, there's your date, dear diary. You will write your story, but you will not say love Mary. It is not a letter that you are writing. It's a continuous thing. You will write in it again tomorrow and every other day after that. Okay, whenever you get to your diary. So do not ever write your name at the bottom. Right, now let's have a look at the example of the diary. This one says, Dear Diary, what an amazing day I had. Do you remember that I told you about it? Yes, I won the competition. I was totally blown away when my name was read. The prize is something out of this world. I am going to America. Oh, I am simply the happiest girl alive. All your personal feelings and emotions about the competition that you are sharing to your best friend. Now, what is the difference between a diary and a journal? If they should be asked to write a journal entry, it is very similar to a diary, except that you will not start your journal inscription with the words Dear Diary. You will only have the date, and then you will simply start with the time and the place where something happened, but you will also written in the first person. On May the 12th, I went to the museum in Pretoria where we visited this and this. That is a journaling. It's like you journal every day and every main event that happened. Okay? A diary shares feelings and emotions which you will not necessarily share in your journal. It is more factual. Okay. Right. The next one is when we give instructions, okay? How to do something. Now, there are two different ways of giving instructions. We can do the written instructions or we can do the spoken instructions. I would like you to see the difference. Written instructions are in point form. You usually start with a verb, a command, what you have to do. Okay, this one says, dissolve the jelly powder in 225 milliliters of warm water. Add 225 milliliters cold water and mix well. Pour into the mold. Chill until set. Very factual, matter of fact. Then if you would speak and you would try and explain to a friend what you will do, you will have a lot of words. You will say something in the following manner. First of all, you have to melt the jelly powder in a cup of boiling water. Then you have to add a cup of cold water to the mixture and stir it well. Then you pour it into whatever dish you want to serve it in, and then leave it in the fridge to set. So much more elaborate than just writing down this instructions step by step in the correct order that it should be done. You cannot chill the jelly until you have dissolved it. So therefore, it is very important that you need to basically plan your piece very well before you start writing it. Right, notes on instructions. How do I go about it? First of all, write a short introduction in the beginning so that your reader will know what they are going to be doing. What instructions do they need to give? Okay? Never assume that the person you will be instructing will know everything. Be clear on every step. If I've never changed a tire, don't tell me fetch the tire wrench because I don't know what it looks like. Okay? So be specific. Think carefully before you start writing it. Plan every step carefully. Write your instructions in point form. Number 1, number 2, number 3. And in chronological order as it happens, okay? Write so that your audience understand, because not everyone will know what a SDK is, that it is a software development kit. So if you write the abbreviation for something, then also give the meaning. It's sometimes very confusing if you buy a product from Japan or wherever, and you have to assemble it or read the instructions because you have no idea what they are talking about. Right. Each step must have a single action. When you are busy doing something, you can't read a whole paragraph before you know how to do something. So every step, short, sweet, to the point with a single action. Okay. Every step should start with an action word. Like I've explained to you, you are giving them a command, what they must do: dissolve, add, pour, chill. So therefore, it's much easier for the person doing this to know what to do. You also write in the second person, you, because it's not I who is doing it, it's the other person. So you must do this. Okay. You may use alternatives. For example, you should use low GI bread, but if it is not available, you also may use both, best of both bread. Okay, so therefore the person will know exactly what is expected. Then the third one I would like to explain to you is directions. Now, usually people, you do very poorly in giving directions because you do not take the liberty of looking at your map, then go and write a few landmarks on the map before you start planning your directions that you are going to give. You can't haphazardly sit there and think out something, and then later on, if somebody reads it, it just does not make sense. They cross or pass McDonald's 6 times because you didn't actually go to the effort of pinning it on the map. There's a stop sign, there's a McDonald's, there's a police station, and so forth. Right. Directions are similar to giving instructions, but you take your map and you turn it to where you are. I am standing here. I need to get there. Or the person is standing here and they need to get there. So how am I going to explain it to them? There you will write in your landmarks, your street names if they're not given, and so forth. And then you will start planning it by writing from here. Carry on straight until the stop street. Cross Schoeman Street, which is lying here, for example. Carry on past 3 robots. You will reach the post office on your left-hand side. Turn right into Malan Street or left or whatever. So, you start from the place that you are coming from and you finish at the place you need to go. Okay? Directions must be written in point form with only one instruction per point. Imagine driving in a car and here you have to read a whole letter to try and figure out where am I going. It's easier to see I've been here, at the next one cross over, then do this and so forth. So also in point form, okay, one instruction per point. Look where you are. Like I said, if you are at point A, which they usually indicate on the map, and you need to get to point B, you need to explain to them how to get there. Turn the map the way you are facing. I've explained it to you. I'm here. I need to be there. You can't turn the map to where you are going to. You need to have where you are now and then see how am I going to get there. Okay. Orientate the map also in terms of direction, north, south, east, west, and so forth. Give clear and precise, concise directions. Besides giving the street names and turn left and right, also mention that people look out for landmarks when you are driving, okay? Turn right at McDonald's into Q Street. Carry on straight, cross over Malvern Street, Botha Street and the Toy Street. And then you will see an Edgar's on your left-hand side. Those are the basic things that people look at while they are driving, because nowadays you can't always go on street names as well, because there are no street names on the boards or the signboards anymore. So it's good to have landmarks if you need to drive. Then start out by making a general statement, just putting your reader in the situation. Where are you? and where are you going to. Okay. Right, I'm at the Union Building. It is only about 2 kilometers north of here in a suburb called Brynfirian. This helps your listener to orientate themselves. Where are they? And then also give a simple summary at the end of this directions. It is easy. Remember, you follow Pretoria Street and then turn left twice, first into Wessels and then into Schoeman Street. Decide on your landmarks and indicate them on your map before you start writing, okay, so that you can see them there. Note, please, landmarks are not always given. When you get your exam paper, there might be a map with roads, but there's no landmarks there. You need to insert or supply them yourself. That is what your examiner will be looking for when they mark your directions. Did you supply landmarks, which are not necessarily there? Okay. Now for asking directions, I will usually, if I ask someone, use the following words. How do I get to this place? How can I get to that and that? Can you tell me the way to? Or where is this place? And then if you give directions, you will use the following vocabulary, which is something which you can remember and employ when writing your own. Go straight on until you come to. Turn back or go back. Turn left into so-and-so street or turn right into so-and-so street. Go along up the road or down the street till you reach so-and-so place. Cross the intersection at Botha and Milan Street. Take the first or second road on your left or on your right. It is on the left or right. My house is in the cul-de-sac, number 2 Botha Street. Opposite so-and-so place. Near there. Next to this, between those two things, at the end of the street, the intersection, on, at or around the corner, behind the park, in front of. When you reach the four-way stop, turn right. The bridge will take you to the park. Those are some of the words that you may use when you give directions. Now I would like you to try your hand at the following, please. After you have copied these notes, of course, in the back of your language book. First copy the notes in the back of your language book, and then you will plan your topics and then write 80 to 100 words on each of them. The first topic is, we've all done Merchant of Venice and we've watched the movie and we've discussed the notes, so you have a fair idea and you can also use your notes in this regard. Remember, they will not give you every single detail that you can use, but that is why this is creative writing. You will base it on the story. You know who Portia is and that she's going to have suitors that she has to choose from and they have to choose a casket and so forth. But other stuff is you can put in just for the sake of being creative, okay? But you can't change her handmaiden's name to Beauty, for example, if her name is Narissa, okay? I would like you to write the entries for 2 random days in Portia's diary. It could be the day that her father passes away and the day the first suitor arrives, for example. Then secondly, I would like you to give instructions that Portia's father listed for the suitors when they arrive and when they have to choose the caskets. All the instructions that they have to follow. Then number 3, write the directions to Shylock's house. that Bassanio can follow from his own home in Venice. Now, if you want to be very creative, you can draw the Rialto Bridge and you can draw a few streets with their own names. Draw a little map and then write the directions from there. That should be quite interesting. You will do this in the back of your language book. Like I said, only 80 to 100 words. In most cases, in the diary, it would be most probably 2 paragraphs. The instructions are in point form and your directions. But there would be a great advantage if you can just draw yourself a little map there. Just to place yourself in Venice. Where is Shylock's house? Where's Bassanio's house? Where's Antonio's house? Where's the Rialto Bridge? And so forth. Have fun, grade 11s. I can't wait to read all the things that you have written. Until we see each other next time, be safe. Bye-bye.